Hello, friend.
Hey, girl.
So Meg already taught me how to sew, kind of. So Meg, what was on your list that you wanted me to teach you? Brandishing.
Well, I wanted you to just, give me a good talking to with a long dowel.
Done.
On my list is macrame. It's like a really kind of simple staple project, but then it's always like just more challenging when I'm there by myself and I end up with it's like cut to a mess of yarn all around me. It's totally fine. I got it. And so I just figured, why not go to the expert?
And so I thought I would teach you the Josephine knot, but since we've already done the planter, I thought we would make a little wall hanging.
Oh, I love it.
Because wall hangings are everywhere. Have you noticed this?
Yes, I love them. I love that they're sort of bringing back the retro 70s vibe, but giving like a little modern spin on it. So I am way into that. And my apartment now is so much bigger. I still am desperately trying to put some great artwork, and I love some texture on the wall.
Yep, you gotta fill up those walls, girl. Cotton or nylon cording, a wooden dowel, leather cording, acrylic paint, scissors, and a foam-tipped paintbrush. Okay, but before we get to the knots, you gotta hold your horses. We're gonna paint our dowel rod. This is gonna be the base of our wall hanging. Of course, you could just use the natural wood, but what's the fun in that? So we're gonna paint ours metallic. Mine is like a champagne, kind of pewtery color.
Excellent. Mine's like a copper situation.
Paint that dowel, girl. So I actually was thinking, instead of the dowel, you could use like a piece of copper tubing, which would be beautiful.
Very cool.
But the awesome thing about the dowel is they're so inexpensive. Okay, so let's set these aside and let them dry. The first thing we're going to do is do two pretty long lengths. Are you ready to learn?
So ready.
All right. Josephine knot 101. Okay? Separate out your two ends. Take your right side and loop it under. As you're making your knot, keep the strands flat. So, you're gonna have to kind of manipulate to keep them flat. So now you take this and cross it over. Now take this part and cross it under. And now take the ends, and this is where the magic happens. Go under the top of the loop, over the part that crosses over, and under the bottom of the loop. And now gently pull the two ends, kind of twisting as you go.
Does it look like it's supposed to look?
Yay!
I macrame'd.
You totally did it. You macrame'd. Now this is one of a bajillion macrame knots, but I like this one because I feel like it's clean and modern. Are you ready to make a wall hanging?
I'm totally ready to make a wall hanging.
Excited. So the first thing we're going to want to do is decide how long we want the actual ropey bit to hang, So I actually think that this is going to be a pretty good length. Let's cut a bunch so that we have a bunch to choose from. So again, we're going to use our hooks up at the top and kind of just rest the rod in there. If you take your cord and double it up, just loop it through like so. Leave like you are, a couple of inches on each side. That's what we'll use our leather cord for hanging, and just loop them on. So as you're attaching your cords to the dowels, you can go super tight like I did and really pack them in, or you can go looser like Meg, which will give you fewer knots. So it's really just how dense you want your pattern to be. All right, so I'm just starting to kind of plot out where I want my knots to go. And I think I might do every other across the top and then alternating, do the next set lower. So this is where it's handy to do this on a cutting mat like this, because you can use the lines to kind of make a little grid for your knots so that they're relatively straight. This is kind of a fun project to do with a friend. It's, one of those kind of tedious, but you can still chat through it.
Yeah. With the skill set being beginner, didn't quite have it in me to plan it out too much, so
Yeah.
kind of was,
Oh, I like it.
winging it a little.
Yes.
And I'll do some, like a couple more haphazard ones down here.
All right, so while you finish yours up, I'm gonna kind of trim mine a little bit where it's fraying. And then very carefully use a lighter and just melt the ends of that thread. So to finish things off, just tie your leather cording. I'm going to wrap it around a couple of times and just tie a simple knot at the bottom. All right, so mine's done.
I love it.
I'm gonna help.
I totally dig it.
I love it, and I love what you're doing, and I think we should do this again.
I think so too. Thank you for teaching me this.
Hey, thanks for coming. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.